What's up, everybody? Kyle here at Let's Talk Wax with the first official prospect hot sheet of the 2023 minor league season. Now, I'm going to be doing these bi-weekly throughout the course of the entire year. So if you want to subscribe to the channel, go ahead and do that so you don't miss any of my future episodes. But how this thing works is I take the top 15 prospect performers throughout the minor leagues and I kind of rank them. And I also have a bunch of honorable mentions, and I actually separated those by level for this episode. So I'm going to go through my top 10, and then before we get into our top 5, I'm going to show you all the honorable mentions from AAA down to low A, and then we're going to get into our top 5. But we're going to kick this thing off with Jordan Adams with the Los Angeles Angels. He was drafted back in 2018 out of high school. He was a very athletic, raw player that's kind of yet to translate those tools into performance at the minor league level. He had a pretty big past 14 days. He had 5 home runs, 2 triples, a double, 16 RBIs, 6 walks, and 3 stolen bases. Even though his slash line was only 235, a lot of offensive production there. So his current 2023 ISO is at 393. And what you're going to see with the 2023 numbers are that they're very inflated because this is the first about 2 weeks of the minor league season. So anyone who got off to a hot start is going to have pretty well inflated 2023 numbers. So kind of rely on the career numbers in this episode until we get further into the season and some of the stats start to pan out a little bit longer over a longer sample size. But he's got a 113 career ISO, so not a lot of power, and he's got a fringe 27.2 K percentage. And like I said, he's an athletic kid who's just yet to kind of put it all together in the total package, but he had a big first 2 weeks. He's an organizational rank of 30, a Let's Talk Wax rank of 5.5, and his autos are around $20 right now out of 2018 Bowman draft. At number 14, we have Matt McLain, who is a shortstop among an entire crew of elite prospects in the Cincinnati system who play infield. He's 23.7, one of the older infield prospects in the organization in AAA, and he's hit 275 over the past 2 weeks with 4 homers, 4 doubles, 11 RBIs, 7 walks, and 4 stolen bases. So some pretty good damage right there with the bat. He's up to 277 with his batting average, hitting 313 across the 2023 season. Now, McLain's always kind of been a higher strikeout rate, low average hitter, but he does have the speed power combo, which kind of makes him an intriguing prospect. He was a high round pick out of the 2021 draft. So he's definitely a guy to watch, but the strikeout numbers have always been kind of fringe. He's got a 25.9% K rate over his career, but he's got the big ISO, a 222 ISO. And although he only has 4 stolen bases in the 2023 season so far, he does have some pretty above average speed that could make an impact at the higher level minors and in the big leagues on the base pass. So definitely got to watch. Organizationally, he's ranked number 5. Let's Talk Wax rank of 3.5. Out of 2022 Bowman, and he's around $75. At number 13, we've got a guy with some big league experience. He was called up in 2022 and had a pretty solid debut. 23.9 years old, Tyler Freeman with the Cleveland Guardians in AAA. He's a third baseman, had 2 homers, a triple, 5 doubles, 13 RBIs, and was 5-5 on walks and stolen bases. So Freeman is an elite contact hitter. You can see his season K numbers. He's got a 14.1 K percentage and a 1.80 K to walk ratio. If you look at his career K percentage, it's the best on this list at 9.4. So some really elite contact skills for Tyler Freeman. Now, up until last year, Freeman was really a hit tool only type of prospect, but he doubled his home run output in 2022, and he's already increased his ISO. He's got a career high ISO of 250 right now. Now, I don't think he's going to hold on to that 250 ISO, but I think he is growing into more power. But he's going to have to do it quickly because, obviously in the hobby, when the prospects get around 24 years old, they kind of get forgotten and left behind. And I also exclude them from my prospect hot sheets at the age of 24 too. But he's a super cheap buy-in at $5. He's from 2018 Bowman Chrome. Organizationally, he is graduated from the MLB top 30 ranks, but for Let's Talk Wax, he is a 3. I think he could be an above average big leaguer. At number 12, we have Brady House, a pretty hyped up name coming out of the 2021 draft class. He's 19.8, repeating low A. He played in low A last year, had some pretty high K numbers in low A last year. You can see his career K percentage is right around 26. Career average is around 293. So he has some contact skills, but his K numbers are a bit fringe for me, but he's off to some really good K numbers to start the 2023 season with a 16.6 K rate and a 0.66 K to walk ratio. So he's walked more than he's struck out so far in 2023. He hit 2 dingers, a triple, a double, 5 RBIs, and 6 walks. Now, I did talk about Brady House possibly being moved to third base in the future last year, and I think that's where he's going to be at third base. So the bat's going to have to do a little more damage than what it would if he was at shortstop. So hopefully we get a look at Brady House in high A. Like I said, he's repeating low A, and he probably isn't going to stay there very long. So hopefully we can get a look at Brady in high A and kind of see how the power, the hit tool, and the K numbers pan out for him at that level. Organizationally, he's number 5 in the national system. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 3.5. Out of 2022 Chrome, now his 2022 Chrome autos are not going to be first autos because he has a first Chrome card in 2021 draft. But I guess you could quote unquote say it's his first in the hobby because it's actually his first auto. It just won't have the first stamp on his autographs. But his card's around $50 right now. At number 11, we have Owen Casey with the Chicago Cubs, 20.8 years old, playing in Double A this year. Now, Casey had a really dominant 2021. He was a very young player, had very good numbers in low A, but he didn't quite repeat his performance in 2022 at the high A level. Now, he's more of a bat first player. He's probably going to play a corner outfield spot, but he's got 4 home runs, triple, 2 doubles, and 11 RBIs so far after 2 weeks in Double A at 20.8, which is very young for the level. He's hitting .303 with a .485 ISO. And like I said, these numbers are going to be inflated a bit because of the small sample size. But one thing to consider about Casey right now is his K percentage is 57.4. So he's striking out in over half of his at-bats. And it's definitely an alarming rate to start the season. He's got a 10-0 K to walk ratio. I think he had 20 strikeouts and 2 walks so far in Double A. He's very young for the level, and this could be a small adjustment phase for him, and hopefully the K numbers will slowly go down. But he's a 30.4 career K percentage player, so the Ks are kind of following him along as a shadow as he moves up through the levels. So hopefully, like I said, he can get those K numbers down as he adjusts to Double A arms and still produce, like he's capable of. Because like I said, he did have a really good year in 2021, but 2022 was just pretty average for his prospect status. Organizationally, he is number 12 in the Cubs system. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 3. His cards are out of 2020 Bowman draft, and they can be sold for around $70 right now. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to help support the channel and get access to some exclusive content, head over to my Patreon page. I'll put a link to it in the description. It's only $5 a month, and you can get access to all Bowman Chrome autograph checklist breakdowns from 2019 to 2023, including the new 2023 Bowman release, a top 100 Bowman Chrome autographs list, and a top 100 Bowman Chrome autographs under $50 list. You get access to a searchable Chrome first and first auto database. So if you're wanting to know where your favorite prospects are, you can type their name in and it will tell you where to find them out of what release. You get access to a private Let's Talk Wax Discord server, 24 hours early access to video information, including prospect hot sheet, and free monthly giveaways. And like I said, if you want to help support the channel, head over to my Patreon page. I'll put a link to it in the video description. Breaking into our top 10 is the Seattle Mariners' first round pick of the 2022 draft, Cole Young. He's 19.7, playing in low A this year. He's a shortstop. He hit .382 over 34 at-bats with the triple, 6 doubles, 6 RBIs, 11 walks, and 4 stolen bases. Now, Cole Young's been pretty solid since being drafted. It's been a small sample size, but he has yet to show struggles at any minor league level so far. He's hitting .382 on the year so far with a .236 ISO. And what I really like are the K numbers. He's got the best K percentage and K to walk ratio so far on this list, at least among players in the 2023 season so far. 13.3 K percentage, a 0.54 K to walk ratio. Another guy who's taking more walks and striking out. He's already got 4 stolen bases, and career-wise, he's hitting .372 with a 181 ISO, and then elite K percentage as well on the career. So an exciting young prospect to definitely keep an eye on. If he continues to perform, he could kind of rocket up the Seattle system, maybe finish the year in high A, or even take a peek at him in Double A towards the late last 2 months of the season perhaps if he kind of has like a Jordan Lawler type of year. But he's at 99 on the top 100 MLB.com. Organizationally, he is number 3. I'm giving him a Let's Talk Wax rank of 1.5, and his cards can be found in 2022 Bowman Draft, and they're around $200. So he's definitely not a cheap buy-in. But if he continues to perform, I think he could be a very low risk buy at that price if he continues to perform, especially in high A. We saw like James Wood, his prices jump up into the $200 range at one point last year with similar numbers. So definitely got to keep an eye on. But I would wait to see if he can keep up this production, because it's been a small sample size so far before I spend a ton of money on Cole Young. At number 9, we have Spencer Jones, who is going to be on the 2023 Bowman autograph checklist. He does not officially have an auto or a first chrome out yet, but on April 26th, when that product releases, he will. So I put him on the list. I put a bunch of 2023 Bowman guys on this hot sheet just because I knew the checklist and I got to take a look at it and do my breakdown. You can find the complete breakdown of, I think it's like 136 guys with first chromes or first autos over my Patreon page. Spencer Jones was the first round pick of the New York Yankees, 21.9 out of Vanderbilt, playing in high A this year, center fielder, lots of tools, but he's kind of got an iffy K percentage, but he's another small sample size guy, hasn't really played or gotten enough plate appearances to get a read on whether or not the Ks are going to kind of impede his production going forward. So 344 on the year with a 437 ISO. Like I said, 35.1 K percentage so far with 3.25 K to walk, so he's not taking many walks either. 344 for the career, 256 ISO for the career, and a 23.1 K percentage. Now, he's not ranked in the top 100 yet, and I feel like he's a guy that once he settles down and kind of locks in and gets some bigger plate appearances and sample sizes, he could crack the top 100 in the future. Let's talk wax rank of 2. And like I said, he's going to be on the 2023 Bowman autograph checklist. At number 8, we have Andy Pages with the Los Angeles Dodgers, an absolutely stacked system for minor league bats. There are some really big bats in that organization, which is going to make it really tough for Andy Pages to crack the big leagues. They've got Michael Busch, they've got Diego Cartaya, they've got Miguel Vargas, and I'm probably missing a few others, Dalton Rushing, just a lot of guys, a lot of big bats in that system, which is going to make it tough for a lot of these guys to get to the major league level. But he's 22.4, he's been around for a while, he was out of 2020 Bowman Chrome. He's got big juice, doesn't hit for a ton of average, or actually hasn't hit for a ton of average throughout his career, but he has a lot of juice, some of the biggest juice in minor league baseball, with pretty tolerable career K numbers. He's got a 23.9 career K percentage, and so far in Double-A at age 22, he's got elite K numbers right now, with 17.1 K percentage and a 77 K to walk ratio, 0.077, walking more than he strikes out. So if he can maintain the power he's shown in the past and clean up his K numbers and hit a little higher than 250, maybe get in the 270, 280 range, we could be looking at a pretty elite bat going forward. He's still 22.4. He's got another year ahead of him in the hobby, I think, before people kind of lose interest. But like I said, he's a big power bat, and big power bats usually don't carry the K numbers that Pages has through his career. So definitely something to consider with him. 74 out of 100 on MLB's.com's top 100. Organizationally, he's a 6 in a loaded organization with bats, and he's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 2. And like I said, he's in 2020 Bowman, and his cards are going for about $50 right now. At number 7, we have Hunter Goodman, and I talked about him a ton last year. And the majority of what I talked about as far as Hunter Goodman goes is what can he do when he's age appropriate? What can Hunter Goodman do when he's in Double-A? Because he did a lot of damage in Low A last year. He did some damage in High A. He was a bit old for those two levels, and here he is in Double-A, and he's continuing to hit for a lot of power. 4 home runs, 4 doubles, 8 RBIs, and 7 walks over the last just about 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of the minor league season. So he's off to a hot start, but these are numbers that Hunter Goodman's put up in the past. This isn't really uncharted territory for him, and he's doing it at a level where he's age appropriate. So it's really exciting to see, and this was the kind of the seesaw I was on, like I said, of whether Hunter Goodman could be a higher ranked Let's Talk Wax ranked player. or, just a guy who dominated a level he was too old for. But he's hitting .313 on the season so far with a 500 ISO. So half of his base hits are extra base hits, 17.5 K percentage, and a 1.00 K to walk ratio. So really impressive numbers, really impressive start. His career average is 296. His career ISO is 283. Fringy K numbers 24.8, so it's right around that 25% K rate mark, which is a little high for me when we're considering, elite prospects, because there's not many guys that had that type of K percentage. Maybe Fernando Tatis was one of them. I think he had a 25% K rate throughout his career in the minor leagues, but he's not on the top 100 organizationally. He's a number 15. 2.5 on the Let's Talk Wax rank out of 2021 draft, and his cards are about $20 right now. And another thing to consider with Goodman is the low defensive ceiling. He's not getting a whole lot of reps behind the plate, mainly at DH and corner outfield spot. So the bat's going to have to play because the defense really isn't going to be an elite tool for him. At number 6, we have probably one of my top 5 favorite minor league players right now. Evan Carter is kind of a sleeping giant for me. The hobby's kind of caught on to how good Evan Carter is and how good his tools really are. And he's an $85 auto right now, but there's a lot of guys out there, a lot of players who are a lot more expensive than Evan Carter who don't have nearly the ceiling that I think Evan Carter has. 20.6 playing in Double-A, and he's off to an impressive start. 3 homers, a double, 15 RBIs, and 8 walks. So 20.6, he's already taken 8 walks, which is really impressive, at 1.37 K to walk ratio. Hitting .389 with a 278 ISO. Now, he's played pretty well below the league average at every level, even last year, and he's got a career batting average of 289, 18.0 K percentage, and he's just under 200 ISO. So he can run, he's going to steal bags, he can play exceptional defense in center field, he has a contact tool, he's growing into power, and there's really not a lot that Evan Carter can't do, and I just think him being ranked 36 out of 100 is a little too low on the totem pole for this guy. But personally, I'm just big on Evan Carter, so there is some subjectivity there. I've been pretty big on him for a few years now. He's one of the actual sleepers that I picked for 2 years ago that really did pan out. There were a couple guys or more than a couple that I picked as sleepers, in my previous videos that didn't really quite pan out. But I think Vaughn Grissom and Evan Carter were my 2 standouts that I talked about in some sleeper videos, and there were probably about 20 that didn't ever pan out. But that's kind of how prospecting goes. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of elite. He's the only guy on this list that is ranked elite. And like I said, I'm just personally a big Evan Carter fan. He's out of 2020 Bowman draft, and like I said, his autos are around $85 right now, which seems a little cheap for me with the potential and the ceiling that he has. But like I said, potential and ceiling are magician words. We can't predict the future, but I just literally like Evan Carter. Now, before we get into our top 5, as I promised, we're going to have some honorable mentions here. And I've got probably about 35 names, and I'm just going to break them up by level. And if you guys want to take a screenshot of these 3 and go back and reference them later, it would probably take me about 2 hours to cover all the honorable mentions. But there's a lot of guys over the first 2 weeks that got off to hot starts, and their numbers weren't quite good enough to crack the top 15 on the hot sheet. So Double-A and Triple-A, we've got Soderstrom, Justin Henry, Malloy coming in 2023 Bowman. We got Kjerstad with a big start, Gage Workman, Jorbert Vivas, Cesar Prieto, Grant Levine, and a slew of others out of Double-A and Triple-A. And now Triple-A has been playing for about 10 days more than all the other levels. And obviously the Complex League and Dominican Summer League haven't started yet. So their sample size is a bit bigger. You can see like Soderstrom's got 45 at-bats, and Henry Malloy's got 47 playing in Triple-A. So that's our Triple-A and Double-A line. Y'all can screenshot that if you want to. We've also got some big names coming out of High A over the last 2 weeks. Yiddi Cappe is in High A now, and he had a really strong 2022. There's some guys out of the 2022 draft release that are having solid starts to the season. We've got James Wood, who's finally in High A, and I've been just waiting for him to get to High A. I really think he should have been able to do it last year, but with the Soto trade going down, they're pretty stacked in the outfield. In Washington, I think they wanted to keep James Wood in center field until they could get Hassel up to Double-A. So we've got Nacho Alvarez on there, Maximo Acosta, who is going by Max now. So you cannot search Maximo Acosta. You will not find anything. He is going by Max now, which I found out while compiling my data. Isaac Pacheco, a guy that I like, Caden Wallace, Chase Young, and a slew of others. Jonathan Clase sneaks in down there at the bottom, and the prospect that I really like. I'm glad to see him in high A, kind of an age-appropriate level. And finally, our low A honorable mentions. We've got Jackson Holiday up there with 5 doubles. I don't expect him to be in low A very long. He is a very advanced bat, and I just don't see him sticking in low A. They're probably just putting him in there to, get him some confidence, and they're going to bump him up to high A, I'm sure, soon, at least by the end of the year. We've got Christian Hernandez, a big international signee, who had a decent year in 2022, but he's off to a hot start in A-ball, 19.3. And, he's still very young. Like I said, 19.3 in A-ball. I think a lot of people kind of just threw the bag in on Christian Hernandez, after the 2022 season, but a lot of development there. He's still got a lot to learn, a lot of tools there. Leonardo Balcazar is another guy I like with the Cincinnati Reds, 18.9 on A-ball this year, off to a hot start. Victor Acosta, out of that same international class as Christian Hernandez, is starting to come along, and this is his 3rd season of minor league baseball, and he's 18.9. So I think his autos dropped all the way down to I think they're at $10 right now. And Acosta's a guy that can run, hit for a little bit of power right now, a little bit of contact. But like I said, he's 18.9 in his 3rd year of pro ball, and he's just a baby still compared to some of these other players. So this is going to wrap up our honorable mentions in low A. All right, we're going to break into our top 5, which is dominated by New York Mets prospects who are just absolutely destroying the ball right now. Beatty's already been called up. But we're going to start it off with Creed Willems, Baltimore Orioles, 19.8. He's in low A. He's a catcher, hit 4 home runs to start his minor league season, 3 doubles, 11 RBIs, and 5 walks. So his 2023 MILB season numbers are elite. 429 batting average, 535 ISO, the highest ISO on this list. Really good K numbers, but we have to slide over to the career where we see career-wise he's only hitting 213 with a 164 ISO and a 26.2 K percentage. A guy that struggled over the last 2 years, hasn't hit over 200 across 2 seasons so far, but maybe this is a breakout year, but I'm kind of leaning towards hot streak with Creed Willems. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 5, and you can find him in 2022 Bowman for about $20. At number 4, we've got Mark Vientos, 23.4. He's been in the New York Mets organization for a while. First base prospect. Has big juice. He got called up last year, hit a $167 over 41 plate appearances, and he's going back to AAA this year where he's already hit 5 homers. Really good numbers. He's got a 28.3 K percentage, and that's kind of fringy like his career K percentage of 24.8. But like I said, he's got big juice, a career 214 ISO. Organizationally, he is a 8 in the Mets organization, a Let's Talk Wax rank of 2, but he's blocked by Pete Alonso, who leads the MLB. As of this hot sheet, is leading the major leagues in home runs, playing first base with the New York Mets. So he's got a big shadow ahead of him. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Vientos, maybe try to get him up there in a DH role, but he's really limited defensively, but he does have a pretty big bat, and he's hit for a lot of power across his career in the minor leagues. He's out of 2017 Bowman draft, if you remember what those cards look like, and his cards are selling for about $40 right now. At number 3 is the second of our trio of Mets. Ronnie Mauricio had an excellent 2023 spring training. He carried that right into AAA. 22.1 shortstop, hit 351 so far, 6 homers, 3 triple, 5 doubles, and 14 RBIs. Now, there's a lot I like about Ronnie Mauricio. The big thing with Ronnie is the K to walk ratio. He's a very aggressive hitter, and the K percentage isn't awful. It's just that he doesn't take very many walks. You can see his career K percentage 21.5, but he does not walk very much, and I'm a little worried about how he's going to handle big league arms with his aggressive approach, if they're going to eat him up, or what's going to happen with him. But he hasn't had the chance to play at the big league level yet, and I think he will somehow or some way this year. He could also be a trade chip for the New York Mets, having an infielder of his caliber. they could make a move for him this year. But I'm not really sure what they're going to do with Mauricio. He's been in the minor leagues for a long time. He's back from 2019 Bowman, but he's picked up a lot of steam, since the 2023 spring training. He's organizationally a number 6. He Let's Talk Wax rank of 2, and his cards have jumped up to about $100 right now. And at the 2 and number 1 spot are currently in the major leagues. They were called up a few days after making this hot sheet, but I couldn't leave them off because they had such excellent starts. Zach Neto was drafted last year, played 44 minor league games, and was called up to the major leagues. That's kind of like Albert Pujols territory, playing so few games in the minor leagues before being called up. I think Pujols was like 19 or 20. He played at a JUCO and or a community college, and he was called up at an earlier age. But Pujols did not play many MLB or minor league games before being called up. But Neto is with the big league club as of this hot sheet. He's hitting .077 with 3 Ks across 13 plate appearances. He's 22. He started in Double-A, hit 3 home runs at double 10 RBIs, 6 walks, and 3 stolen bases. He had the highest start to average 444, averaging 371 ISO. And you can see across his career, but it's still a small sample size of 408 career average at a 529 ISO. Really good K numbers across the board. He was 82 out of 100 on MLB.com's ranking system. He's a 2 in the Angel system and a Let's Talk Wax rank of 1. And Neto was drafted into an organization that really doesn't have a ton of depth at the minor league level. They traded for Ohapi and they got him in there, a high level prospect, and Neto was right behind him. So interested to see what he can do in his professional debut. I'm sure he'll be up there for a little bit unless he really, really struggles. His cards have jumped up to about $100. They were about $50. I did my top 100 Bowman Chrome Autos under $50 list over on Patreon last month. And he was at the $45 to $50 mark, and he was one of the top guys on that list. But since his call-up, he's already jumped to about $100. At number 1, we've got Brett Beatty, a big, tall, leveraging, left-handed bat, 23.3. He played in AAA until his call-up recently. It's his second stint in the big leagues. He's yet to really make a lot of noise at the MLB level, but he's done nothing but hit at the minor league level. He's really got nothing left to prove. He hit 400 before his call-up with 5 homers, 2 doubles, 15 RBIs, and 7 walks. On the season, he was a 400 hitter with 486 ISO. Now, we need to jump to the career numbers for Beatty to see how impressive he really is, because like I said several times in this video, the 2023 MLB season stats are juiced right now because anyone who's hot has just incredible numbers, and they should fizzle out as we get into more prospect hot sheets down the road. But I didn't want to use 2022 stats. I wanted to start fresh with the 2023 season. But over his career, he's hit 293 with a 215 ISO. And the thing with Beatty, he's kind of like Mauricio, but not as bad in the walks category. But he's got fringy K numbers, but he also has a lot of power. If you've ever watched him swing, he's a tall dude, creates a lot of leverage from the left side. He's got a pretty impressive skill set with the bat offensively. He's number 19 in the top 100 in organizational rank of number 2, and he's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 1 for me. He's all the way back in 2019 draft, and his cards have kind of jumped up again, obviously because of the call-up and the hot start to $200. A huge shout out to everyone who supports me on Patreon, especially my Patreon level 3 sponsors listed here. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will be doing this series bi-weekly, and I'll be sneaking some other videos in there as well when releases drop and some other series that I have going on the channel. I appreciate all the support. Y'all have a great day.